Yes, I've broken out the hot chocolate. It is that time once again. Santa is preparing his route, filling his sleigh. We're nearing the big day, so time for us to continue our Christmas tradition and check in with the elf of Rothsay, comedian, actor, publisher, author, bon vivant, James Mullinger. There he is in the beautifully kitted out front room. Nice to see you. How are you, my friend?
I am great. It is officially Christmas now. I've been waiting for this moment until I see you, Todd. It's not actually real, but now it is. God bless you, my friend.
Until I see the two fires in your house, I know it's not Christmas. Look, I want to mention this right away because, let's do a little pushing some business here for you. I mentioned publisher. This is your magazine, the Edit, Maritime Edit. There's a shot of it on the racks now, so to speak. This is your sport and wellness issue. How does a comedian get into what is clearly serious publication business?
Well, by having a very smart and intelligent wife who knows how to steer a ship, who knows how to create something beautiful. And to your point, it's on newsstands now. It's issue 35. When we started the magazine, obviously many people said you won't be able to sustain a magazine in Atlantic Canada, and yet it's thriving more than ever, and that's all thanks to my wife. And needless to say, it makes a wonderful stocking stuffer. And the cover is, of course, celebrating the glorious Sail GP, which is taking place next summer on the Halifax waterfront once again.
Exactly.
So, yes,
the big day, as you mentioned, very soon. Is there much to do in the Mullinger home? I mean, the decorating's clearly done.
Yes, yet again, I have to pass all the compliments over to my wife. She's done a beautiful job decorating the house, both inside and out. There's not much to do based on the fact that, the kids now being the ages that they're at, 12 and 15, it's kind of, the Christmas lists are a bit less elaborate. It more just says things like stone, hold, card, cash. That basically all they want is cash. I get them to explain that Santa's elves do not print money. So it's an interesting time at this age.
Of course, you grew up in the UK. Your children grew up in Canada. Are there any traditions that, I don't know, maybe you would like to have brought over that you just weren't able to, or ones that were perhaps best left behind?
Well, I think binge drinking is probably the one that is definitely best left behind. The UK, certainly today and tomorrow, leading into Christmas, is always just absolutely carnage on the streets. So that's something I'm not sad to leave behind. One of the things that I loved most growing up was going to my local church, where I grew up in Maidenhead, and that is a tradition that we've carried on here in Rothsay. And magically and very specially, St. Paul's Church here in Rothsay is almost like spitting image of the church I went to as a child. So for us, the biggest tradition is going there on Christmas Eve with my godson and his family, and doing the most festive thing of all, which is, of course, forcing my children against their will to take part in the nativity play, even though they claim to be far too old for it now. But as I keep telling them, either you do it or I'm doing it, and then you'll really be embarrassed.
Right, so they're only too happy to do it once that ultimatum's made because they've seen Dad on stage.
Well, quite.
So they
humiliated them enough, apparently.
And standing still in some solitude doesn't really fit into your playbook, so that it would certainly change the nativity, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, it would. Me jiggling and shaking around is one thing on stage and my hands flapping around, but I think no one wants to see that on Christmas Eve. So I think it's one of the things I love so much about going to church is I can sit on my hands, and it's basically the only time in which my ADHD isn't running rampant, and I actually just have some calm.
Okay, well, let's feed into that right now, and we'll do some quick fire Christmas questions, which I don't believe I've asked you before. So here we go. Favorite Christmas movie?
Obviously, I love all the Hallmark movies filmed in Nova Scotia, but I have to say the one that I'm well aware that it's highly problematic now, but I can't stop loving Love Actually, partly because, as you mentioned, it does hark back to time in London. Martine McCutcheon's character, Tiffany, the love interest of Hugh Grant, the Prime Minister, of course, she lives in the dodgy end of Wandsworth, and my wife and I proudly lived in the dodgy end of Wandsworth for 14 years. So that scene when Hugh Grant is running down the street, that was identikit to the street that we lived on. So Love Actually is the one that takes me back.
All right, that's a good one. Favorite Christmas song?
Everything on the Kenny and Dolly Christmas album. But the
Hard Candy Christmas, come on.
Sorry?
Hard Candy Christmas.
Oh, well, exactly. I couldn't go with a classic, but I will say that Nova Scotian artist Christina Martin has come out with a new Christmas song this week, just in time for Christmas Day, and that is now my new favorite Christmas song of all time.
Oh, okay, great, nice. Favorite Christmas gift ever from the age of 2 to your age now? What would it be?
It's a good question because I kind of get the same gifts now that I used to get when I was a child. I want the same things. Care Bears being one. I'm always carrying a Care Bear, especially with a bit of Canadian pride. So Care Bears, Star Wars figures, vinyl records, and VHS videos are the things that I always wanted as a child and still cherish now.
Yeah, vinyl. I hear you on that. Okay, favorite Christmas food?
Christmas food, it would have to be Gnong chocolate, right? Canadian made. I'm a huge chocolate obsessive. When I spent my first Christmas in Canada in the year 2000, I fell in love with Gnong chocolates then, and it used to be my taste of Canada in England every year. Now that I'm lucky enough to live here and now be a Canadian, it continues to be my. It's my proof that I'm a real Canadian every time I enjoy a Gnong chocolate. So that just the boxes and sitting there on Christmas Day watching my favorite Christmas movies, watching the Queen, now King's speech.
Oh, yeah, the King's speech. Of course, yeah. Speaking of tradition. Okay, we got about a minute or so left. A couple of questions I want to get in. You do a big fundraiser every year in Rothsay. You had a very successful outing this year. In 30 seconds, tell us about it. I think we've got a picture of the check.
Yeah, hats off to my wife once again. You can see who the brains is of the operation. It's a fundraiser called the Rothsay Yule, which is a community market and event that brings 1,000 people together and raised $26,000 for the St. John Regional Hospital Foundation to support nurses. And it's a wonderful day and a wonderful event, and makes me very proud.
Okay, so let's look ahead to January. I got about 30 seconds here. You've got lots going on. You've got your unplanned, unscripted, off-the-cuff show. There's a poster of it now that's running for a few nights. And then you've got a bigger tour with a really big stop in Halifax.
Yep, Rebecca Cohen Theatre filming my brand new stand-up special in the Rebecca Cohen. Always wanted to film one in Halifax. Working with an amazing filmmaker by the name of Chris Kingston of Salt Cinematic. It's going to be globally released and cannot wait to hit the road again. As you know, I don't like to sit still. I don't like to rest. I just had my very last gig of the tour last night, and in basically 10 days I start working on the next show. I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, and I've got 3 books on the go, which are all coming out next year as well. But hey, who needs sleep?
just the 3 books.
Exactly, just the 3 books. Well, 2 of them are children's books, co-written with my son. Again, I'm roping in the kids into the family business.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned moving here is that all of us, if we want to live a long, happy, successful life, we all need to be more Canadian.
Okay, all right. I see a catchphrase coming on. James Mullinger in Rothsay, thank you very much, my friend. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you in the new year.
Thank you very much, my friend. Love your talk. Cheers.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.